All right, guys, again, I'm flying without a net, and let's write an essay from beginning to end. And the topic of this one is, are romantic movies damaging to real relationships? Now, let me remind you that I'm following my own tutorial that I have on YouTube right here, how to write a 300-word essay. And I will include the link in the description, also at the top of the screen. Now, in addition, I have the same tutorial in written form on my blog right here. And I'm going to include the link in the description as well. So writing a 300-word essay is a 5-step process, and let me just follow that exact process that I outlined myself, okay? Step 1 is plan the number of words in each paragraph. Now, I know my topic, right? Are romantic movies damaging to real relationships? If I want 300 words, I just need to distribute them somehow. So let me distribute them this way. About, roughly speaking, about 45 words in the introduction, about 45 words in the conclusion. That makes what? 90 words, right? So 300 minus 90 is 210, and that divided by 3 is about 70 words per paragraph. Okay, I want to know the exact number of, or the approximate number of words, so that I could plan out my writing and plan out my time, whether I'm writing an essay just for a certain class or in an exam. And I'm going to pretend that I'm writing an essay in an exam because I don't have, let's pretend that I don't have access to the internet and I'm just flying without a net here. Okay, so I've already planned. I know that approximately this is going to be the number of words in each paragraph. Okay, now, again, if you're writing a 600-word essay, you can roughly multiply all of these by 2. You could, roughly speaking, instead of 45, it doesn't have to be 90. It could be, let's say, 75 words. 75 words in the conclusion, that's 150, right? But if you want 600 words, just, okay, subtract 150 from 600. That's 450. Divide by 3, and that's about 150 words in each of the paragraphs, you see? Keep it easy, keep it simple. Okay, this is a simple essay. Now, step 2, decide on your main and supporting points. Okay, let's decide on the main and supporting points. Let's do that. My main point is I need to take a stand. Agree or disagree? I'm going to agree, yes, that romantic movies are in fact damaging to real relationships. So, romantic movies are damaging to real relationships in 3 ways, because we're answering the question how here. How? The question how is answered by in how many ways? Well, in 3 ways. What are the ways? Okay, now I need to find those 3. So I took a stand. Yes, they are damaging. And now I need to find these 3 ways. I'm using the power of 3. Let me show you right here. I am using exactly the power of 3. I know I keep coming back to this in my videos because it's so powerful and so important, and it's so easy. I just need 3 ways in which romantic movies damage real relationships. Well, first of all, they set unrealistic expectations of the partners. Set realistic expectations. They need to be super beautiful or super handsome, or they need to have a certain income and so on and so on. But it's always like that. There's almost always, I shouldn't say always, but usually it's some kind of an unrealistic expectation. In other words, don't expect your real life boyfriend or girlfriend to be just like that person in the movie. So unrealistic expectations of the partners. What else? They portray an unrealistic view of relationships. This may be a little bit too general because we're not talking about real relationships. So they portray an unrealistic view of, you know what? What else? What else could there be? They portray an unrealistic view of It's okay. Am I stuck already in the second one? I'm supposed to be stuck in the third one, not in the second one. Okay. Okay. They do not really teach anything about relationships beyond the courtship period. Because, why is that? Because usually the movie is about boy gets girl or girl gets boy or something like that. Or boy gets boy, girl gets girl, whatever it is. But the thing is that as soon as they end up together, that's it, the movie ends. And that is the situation. That's actually the story about all stories. Almost all of them. Like, movies are not about relationships really. They're really about how people get to finally get together. Okay? Or sometimes they separate. But in either case, it's not a movie about relationships. It's a movie about how to get to the point where they actually end up together. And then because they are together, the wedding, thank you very much, the movie ends. Okay? So it's not really, it doesn't portray anything about relationships beyond the courtship period. Now, and number 3 is always harder to come up with. It's harder to think of. So let me think. Unrealistic expectations. They do not teach anything about. Okay. They romanticize. They romanticize relationships, right? They romanticize relationships. Okay, I'm thinking again. I'm flying without a net. I did not prepare anything for it. I'm just trying to think. They romanticize relationships. Oh yes, that's exactly what they okay, they romanticize mutual feelings. They romanticize mutual love, misrepresenting how it really works. There we go. I got it. That's it. These are the 3. And of course, you're gonna see what that means in the third one. Mutual love does not work this way. In movies, you tell a person, oh, I'm in love with you. And of course, she responds, well, or he responds, oh, I love you too. But that's not how it works in real life. In real life, usually it's it's a bit of a tug of war. It's a bit of there needs to be some sort of tension, dynamics in order to keep up the attraction. All right, let's keep moving. Now, okay, so I know my main and supporting points. This is my main point. This is my main point. These are my supporting points. There we go. Let's go. Next. What is next? Write out the complete introductory paragraph. There we go. I want my thesis statement plus the introductory sentence. You see? So I want my thesis statement. This is part 2. I want my supporting points. I already have it. I already have my main point. I already have my supporting points. I'm going to put them together as one paragraph, and I'm going to add a very quick, short introductory sentence. There we go. Let's do it. I could just copy and paste this. Why? Because that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm going to do this. Romantic movies are damaging to real relationships in 3 ways. They set unrealistic expectations of the partners. They do not really teach anything about relationships beyond the courtship period. Okay, and they romanticize mutual love, misrepresenting how mutual love really works. Now, I already have my first paragraph, but is it complete? Well, it is complete, but because your teachers will expect you to write some kind of introduction, just introduce the topic before you get straight to the point, let's write some kind of an introductory sentence, just a sentence, not a complete, not like a introductory paragraph. Don't do an introductory paragraph. Just one sentence is enough. And you can say something like, movies about love, or romantic movies. Okay, just say romantic movies. Or it's okay. Movies about love have influenced people ever since the beginning of cinema. However, romantic movies have been damaging to real relationships. There we go. So let's read the whole thing. Movies about love have influenced, and otherwise known as romantic movies, but I'm going to say romantic movies here, so I don't want to repeat myself, okay? That's just one of the techniques that you use. Just use different words in different parts of the essay. Movies about love have influenced people ever since the beginning of cinema, or have influenced, you can say have touched people. Have touched people, okay? That's even better, because hey, it's romantic, right? Romantic movies, so they're talking about people being touched by these movies. However, romantic movies have been damaging to real relationships in 3 ways. They set unrealistic expectations of the partners. You don't have to say are damaging, just say are damaging, that's fine. In 3 ways. They set unrealistic expectations of the partners. They do not really teach anything about relationships beyond the courtship period. They romanticize mutual love, misrepresenting how it really works. There we go. And this is a complete intro paragraph. And now let's see, how many words do we have here, roughly speaking? We have 51 words. Is it close enough to 45? Yes, it's close enough to 45. Perfect. We're 6 words over. Okay, no big deal. Perfect. That's what we need. Moving on. So what am I doing now? As soon as I'm done with this one, let me get rid of the preliminary stuff. Okay, I don't need any more notes because I'm crystal clear what I'm writing. Okay, I have my main point, I have my 3 supporting points. They set unrealistic expectations of the partners. Okay, let's just copy this one here. How do I write? Okay, so let's go to our steps. Now, step 4, write the body paragraphs. That's what I'm doing exactly. Look, this is my body paragraph structure, right? I begin with the lead sentence, and then I go to the explanation and example. I have 2 kinds of evidence: explanation and examples. My explanation is going to be about 1 to 3 sentences or so, and 1 or 2 examples at the most. And sometimes I won't even need an example because I already have enough words. Does that make sense? Let's keep going. So lead sentence, let's try this. So I write the lead sentence, then an explanation, and then examples. My lead sentence, I'm just gonna copy, because I have 3 reasons, right? 3 ways in which they damage. This is the first one. I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna put it here, and just copy and paste. Now, I don't want an exact copy of what I wrote in the introductory paragraph, so I'm just going to change a little. They, who are they? Well, romantic movies. Okay. So, because my subject should be crystal clear. Romantic movies. Set unrealistic expectations of the partners. Setting people up for failure in real life. Okay, and that, see, just by changing a couple of words here and adding a little bit more detail, I already have a full lead sentence right here. I have my lead sentence. So now I need what? I need an explanation. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's explain. Okay, movies almost always present men and women as as highly attractive, almost always, as highly attractive physically, and usually, and let's put it this way, and male leads are usually financially well off. In other words, and we can say that, in other words, men are usually rich or have some, well, you know, that's not exactly necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. But we can say, okay, you know what? I changed my mind, because that's actually not exactly true. But are they physically attractive? Usually, yes. Usually, yes. We almost always present men and women as highly attractive physically. Okay. Physically, there we go. But does real as a result? Okay, as a result, people begin to set unrealistically, let's just correct this, unrealistically high physical standards as for their potential partners. Everybody's looking for a model. At least that's what I'm arguing here. This may not necessarily be very accurate or exactly correct, but I'm gonna say this here anyway, because hey, it's my essay. I can do whatever I want, and especially since this is a test and I don't have any time or even internet access, presumably, to do any research. So I'm just flying without a net. Okay, I'm just saying what I think makes sense to me, but I need to construct a good essay, so that's exactly what I'm doing. As a result, people begin to set unrealistically high physical standards for their potential partners, and do their expectations realize? Not most of the time. They don't. Not most of the time. Consequently, we can say too many people are single because they cannot find an attractive enough partner. An attractive, not am attractive, but an attractive. Thank you very much. Now, how many words do we have here? Now we remember that we need about 70. Word count. 66, we're almost there. 60, that's enough. I'm just going to leave it here. If I want to add an example, I can add an example easily. And I can say, for example, my friend Rosa has been single for the past 5 years because she simply cannot find an attractive enough, a tall enough, and attractive enough, muscular enough man who would actually stay with her. She gets someone every now and then, but he's just not a good long-term partner, for example. Okay, I'm just making things up, but I could add it here if I need to, and it's very easy. And I can add another example if I need more words, but I don't need more words, so I'm just moving on to the next section. What is my next section? Well, they do not really teach anything about relationships beyond the courtship period. Okay, let me just copy it here. I'm not gonna use this wording exactly, but let me just copy it here and say now, I want a good lead sentence. Okay, romantic movies. So they do not really teach anything about relationships beyond the courtship period. So let me write the exact same thing in different words. Romantic movies usually, or almost always, you can say almost always only focus on the courtship period. and neglect what happens after the wedding, or the whatever, or them getting together. Let's say after the wedding. Let's say, for example, it's after the wedding. Happens after the wedding. But, and by the way, you can definitely start a sentence with the word but, and you can start a sentence with the word and. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay? But in real life, and I'm explaining, this is an explanation. You know what? Let me talk a little bit about that, and then I'm going to come back to real life. So we're going to say movies usually, movies focus on the pursuit of the love interest. As soon as the pursuit it ends, or let's say has culminated in a relationship, such as a wedding or another form of consummation, of relationship consummation, whatever, they get together. The movie usually ends. This creates an impression that all that is needed is to successfully end up together. But in real life, that is where it all begins. This is not the end, this is the beginning. And real life lovers find themselves at a loss as to find themselves disappointed because their movie like love story has actually come to an end, and they do not feel the expected passion anymore. Okay, does that make sense? I think it makes perfect sense. And let's see how many words we have here. Our word count here is 100. So we went a little bit over, but it's okay. We can go over, just, as long as we don't go under, right? So to speak. Let's see. Next. What is my final section? Romantic movies romanticize mutual love, misrepresenting how it really works. Okay. Yes. This may not necessarily be true of all of some of the modern movies, but historically speaking, this is what has been happening. Romantic movies romanticize mutual love, misrepresenting how it really works. Misrepresenting how it really works. Yes. Misleading. We can say mislead. Let's use the word misleading just to change the words up. Misleading viewers into believing in false laws of mutual attraction. Too many movies out there present love as a logical consequence of professing love. Okay, now what do I mean by that? If the boy, the girl awaits the boy to express his feelings, and as soon as he as soon as he does, she responds with feelings being mutual. She responds with the same. In other words, in order for I think it's pretty clear. She responds with the same. However, in real life, feelings follow tension. It is tension that creates attraction, not expressing the feeling, not expressing true feelings. In real life, expressing how one feels, I don't like the word one, I don't like to say that. Expressing true feelings can actually lead to the loss of attraction. It's just the reality. If you come to, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you come to a person or whatever, you've been kind of courting somebody, or you've been in a relationship for some time, and once you say, okay, you know what, I love you and this and that, you start expressing your feelings, all of a sudden you feel, oh, this person is becoming more distant instead of being closer to you. Isn't that weird? That's a little bit weird, but just that's the way it is, and that's the way it is most of the time. And that's exactly what we're saying about this in this section. So this is exactly, okay, so let's take a look. Did we prove the point here? What is our main point? Here's our main point. Romantic movies are damaging to real relationships in 3 ways. Did we prove this point? Yes, we support this point. Yes, they set unrealistic expectations, so it's hard to even find a person because of these expectations. Now, they focus on the courtship period, they completely ignore the relationship part. So yes, it damages because it sets people up thinking that all you need is get together. And once you've gotten together, you don't have to work on the relationship anymore. It's because it's not important. But that's not true. And finally, no. If you simply go up to somebody and say, hey, I love you, it doesn't mean that they're going to say, hey, I love you back. That's simply not how it works. You probably know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, let's write the conclusion, because we need to write a conclusion, right? What is our next step? So these are our body paragraphs. We wrote our body paragraphs. So what are we doing now? The next step 5, write the conclusion. There we go. Write the conclusion, and that is step 5. And that is the final step. Just write the conclusion. Of course, you need to proofread everything, but now we need to write our conclusion. The conclusion, to conclude, when you're writing a simple essay, to conclude, sometimes you can even say to sum up, because you're actually summing up your points. You say to conclude, romantic movies have not helped people. This is not precise, because it's more than help. They actually damage relationships. But I can say romantic movies have not helped people form quality or form lasting relationships, but actually have been setting people up for failure. There we go. Now, how many words do we have total right now? Okay, 317. So I could keep my conclusions super short. So let me do it. I know my 3 points. Okay. Setting unrealistic expectations. Setting unrealistic expectations. Neglecting. Setting unrealistic expectations, neglecting the actual relationship. Okay, the actual relationship. The actual relationship after the wedding, let's say. Neglecting the actual relationship part. Relationship dynamics, you can say. It's okay, you can say that. Actual relationship dynamics. And finally, what is the final one? The final one is they romanticize mutual love and misrepresenting misrepresenting the mutuality of love. Okay, setting. We can even do this. We can do this all in one sentence by doing this. By setting our realistic expectations, neglecting the actual relationship dynamics, and resenting the mutuality of love. There we go. One sentence. Yeah, it's a long sentence, but it's okay. It's an academic essay. So, academics, they like longer sentences. No big deal. Here we are. That's it. We're done. We're done with this essay. Okay. There we go. How many words altogether? 332 words. Perfect. All right, guys, if you want me to explore a certain essay topic, meaning if you wanted to write an essay on a certain topic, please put the topic in the comment section, okay? Just put it in the comment section, and I will make sure to read it and pick a topic and write an essay on it, okay? Thank you for watching. Please like the video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, because I have a lot of tutorials here to help you how to write an essay, how to write a research paper, and so on and so on. Help you go through this experience called school or college. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.